Hi. Mm, I've been wondering if any of you experience what I do with akathisia. Because honestly, I have no idea if I have it like others. Because I keep asking this question in akathisia groups and people rarely reply. However, I don't know if like nerve damage alone can do it, what I have. So it's one of the most uncomfortable sensations I get, like a deep itch. Yeah, I posted recently about this deep itch and deep electrical feeling. And oh God, I'm wondering if there are others with akathisia actually who experience it, because there are people who say akathisia feels like electricity. But mostly if you investigate, then they will say it feels like vibrations, and you're worked up in your chest, and oh my god, like intense panic attack with feeling like you've drunk 50 cups of coffee or something. For me, it's not like that. I don't have that at all, that chest thing. Sometimes I will get it, but not very often. But what I get is this deep itch, and honestly, it's been raging so bad. I've had it in my ears, in my throat, in my tongue. Honestly, it feels like the area between your skin and your insides is itchy. And it sometimes ramps up so bad, and then it gets electrocuted. Like, it feels like shock, 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 like something like this. And the shock itself isn't painful, but it kind of ramps up this itchy, hot, weird sensation. And this is what I get in especially like my ears, my throat, my mouth areas. Like, it's been exceptionally bad in my ears for the last 24 hours, and it's driving me insane. But I also get it in the back of my head, and my shoulders, and my arms, and my legs. And I've just been wondering if others with akathisia experience that, because I don't know if it's nerve damage, if it's akathisia, or what it is. Like this, I call it electrocution because it feels like this deep, itchy electrocution. I can even feel it like along my bones now. Right now I'm sitting and it feels like it's down my shins, like, in my lower legs. And I have it in frequently in other places. Like I had it in my butt and my hips today. And whether it's restlessness, I don't know, to be honest. I don't know if it's like restless legs, because I never had restless legs. I had never had restless legs prior to being med injured. And I don't know what regular restless legs feels like. But with this, I honestly feel electrocuted. Like, if you were asking me one description of this is electrocution. And oh God, I scoured the internet and looked everywhere if others have it, and there are very few people that have it. Like, it feels like something is like shocking, and like areas of your body suddenly feel like they are being shocked. And somebody with trigeminal neuralgia will say, yeah, I feel shocks in my face, but their shocks are painful, mine aren't. It's like discharges and like pulsating of something, I don't know. And I get it really everywhere right now. It's driving me insane, because it feels like you have an allergic reaction under your skin, like you have mosquito bites on the inside of your skin. So you cannot scratch it, but it just feels like itchy and burning and stinging, and really, I have no idea if it's neuropathy or if it's like a akathisia spectrum. And it really makes it difficult to tolerate, because I've had it for years. It only got worse. And technically, if it got worse and I wasn't on any medications, then it should mean it's not akathisia, but more like nerve damage. But at the same time, it is agitating. It makes me feel insane. It makes me feel like I want to crawl out of my skin. So I don't know if it can be neuropathic. And at the same time, I asked people in neuropathy groups, and my spectrum of symptoms is way out of proportion. Like, it's more severe than most people describe. Like, if you ask somebody about itching, they will talk, yes, my skin itches. And my skin sometimes itches, but rarely. And most of the time, it's just like I feel like I have some layer under my skin all over my body, and this is the layer where all the misfiring happens. The itching, the burning, the stinging, the electrocution, the feeling like, I'm toxic all over, I talked about recently. I'm really losing my mind from, trying to figure it out. And not trying to figure it out makes me feel like I'm not doing anything, And yeah, it's a problem, because if I knew it was like, okay, this is for sure akathisia, then it must mean that I'm not supposed to touch any medications in the future, because it might get worse. But if it's neuropathy and it's gonna keep progressing, then I will need to try something, because it's impossible to live with this. Like, the last few days when it's been raging, I'm just out of my mind all the time. I'm, spending time like sitting with my daughter, with my mother, looking after her. I have a toddler, and I'm just sitting there, with a face like a deer in headlights, and oh my god, I cannot do this. I cannot keep doing this, and this is the main sentence that just repeats in my head. If there is anyone who's had it, then please let me know, because really I'm going insane here. And like I said, it's not accompanied by anxiety itself. Like, it's not accompanied by terror, by intense restlessness where I have to pace or something. No, it just feels unbearable. It just feels like there's something wrong under your skin. I know so far my videos haven't been watched by many people. I mean, the older ones, yes, the ones that I posted in some groups, but the ones I post here. But I'm pretty sure, in time, more people will come across this, because this type of injury is getting, more and more recognized. People realize they have been either floxed or harmed by psychiatric medication or any other type of medication. I already talked to many people with all these types of damage, and I'm really sorry for all of us. And if you're struggling, then no, you definitely know you're not alone, because yes, we are here. And I feel like this is a total mindfuck, that we live in a society where medication and doctors are being just basically hailed, and it's like I've lost all the trust in the medical industry. Like, medications aren't used, for me it's like medications are poison, and it's only a matter of time when you are affected by it. And even people who have been on medications all their lives, you don't know if some of their health issues aren't caused by what they're taking and so on. Maybe, I know I'm on the severe end where medication just fried my nervous system, but there are people who, have milder issues, but they are still might be caused by medication. So, yeah, I'm just shocked that this actually could happen in the 21st century. Like, really, it's like I'm in some kind of a nightmare where, where you feel like your whole life has been a lie, because there it was lurking in the background, trying, waiting to attack you. I mean, the med injury, because I come from a medical family, actually, and I I took medications in my life. And I mean, I was on many antibiotics when I was a kid, because my dad's way of managing my health was giving me antibiotic every time I had cough for longer than like 5 days. And but it was usually something mild, so nothing ever happened to me. And but I remember actually being 20, I think, I had a reaction to an SSRI, because I was feeling kind of depressed, and I was told, well, you can try this med. And I took a full dose, and oh my god, what it did to me. I mean, this was the first time I had something like akathisia, because it went away. I didn't have any lasting damage from that. It was just that it was way too much serotonin, maybe like serotonin syndrome, something that didn't damage my brain, but it just did something at the time. I remember pacing up and down the stairs and telling my parents, like, what, I don't know what's going on. I have to do this. I have to be, I have to keep running up and down the stairs. And that's what I did for a few hours, and then it went away, and I was like, whew, that was weird. And it never happened again back then. And I got floxed when I was 28, so. But yeah, the akathisia that came with that time, because it came when I was first withdrawing from pregabalin. It felt different. It didn't feel like I had to pace, but I felt like I was having a panic attack all the time, for hours on end. I couldn't sleep or anything. But yeah, my entire life has been full of some meds and even psych meds, but I never had reactions to them. I mean, I had the reaction to the SSRI, and I avoided that type of medication, later on. But yeah, I was being put on some meds. I also had stomach issues, so I was put on like proton pump inhibitors. And they made me so sick over time. Like, instead of, healing the reflux, they started stopping my digestion. And there was an episode of me getting like something like gastroparesis, where I couldn't eat. And then it turned out that, the proton pump inhibitors were stopping my digestion. And when I finally weaned myself off of them, then suddenly the reflux disappeared. Like, now I will only get it if I overdo it with, like, tomato sauce or something. But other than that, I don't have acid reflux anymore. So this is crazy. And yeah, I feel like I live in some kind of a mindfuck, because like, how did I get here? You know, I was a healthy person. I was very strong. I used to cycle like 100 kilometers. I used to run. I used to do a lot of things. I was really, you know, healthy and active. I studied a few courses. Then I worked. I worked as a photographer later on, had my own business and everything. And then suddenly, you know, you take a medication prescribed by a doctor and something like this happens to you. It's insane. And then I remember like telling the doctor to you know that it happened to me, and he was like, no, yeah, you should stop reading leaflets, you know, nothing happened to you, it's, you know, you're just, you know, exaggerating. That was, you know, what this asshole said. So yeah, so if you've been med injured and you've come across a doctor that actually says, yeah, that's possible, yeah, I'm sorry this happened to you and stuff, this means that you're very, very lucky, because most of the time they will just tell you you're either mental, or maybe you have depression or anxiety, or something of that kind, or you just have gone crazy. Because yeah, that's been my experience. I was told it was anxiety until I had the biopsy done for the small fibers, and yeah, it's crazy. And yeah, so if you have a doctor who actually confirms, you know, that this happened to you and acknowledges it, and you know, actually has some compassion, then you're really, really lucky. But very few are like that. I mean, I have doctors among my friends, and, you know, I know some doctors, and nobody will ever say to me, not even, you know, my family, I'm sorry this happened to you. I mean, it shouldn't have happened, you know. I'm really triggered, for example, when my family, you know, there are some get-togethers and people start talking about medication, and they're, you know, somebody starts talking like, oh yeah, I love this med for my depression and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, I'm so triggered when I hear such things that I have to leave, because I just don't understand, you know, that there are so many pill-popping people in my country, and they seem fine. I mean, I don't know if they might have some issues, but, you know, most of the time, most people don't react as badly to all those types of medications, antibiotics, or antidepressants, or benzos, or whatever. And, you know, here you are, you know, you were really unlucky and all that crap happened to you. And, you know, just everyone triggers you. Okay, so I just wanted to talk about the deep itch and the horrible feelings, and it ended up being a video combining that with something else, you know, with my thoughts on the whole situation, with my frustration about this. But I guess, you know, maybe somebody will listen to it. I wish you all the best, and really let me know if you have anything to say about akathisia, how it manifests for you, maybe. And if anything I talk about is, you know, familiar to you,